Like they said, I am Christine Bentsen. I am so happy to be here with you guys today. And I'm so happy to follow Matt because a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about really build on the things that he said. So today, we're going to be talking about getting to the truth, the power in your customer data. So the three main things that I'm going to focus on today are that product changes are not just product changes. When your product changes, as it inevitably will with the marketplace and with outside forces, whatever the case may be, that impacts your product's relationship both inside and outside the organization. And number two, data is not a luxury. Having engagement and usage data isn't something you do later. Somebody asked a question about that just a minute ago. It's not something you do later if you really want to do it right. It's something you do, and I recommend that you do, as you're developing your product. And number three, everyone in your organization can and should be using the data that you collect. Not just sales, not just CSMs, everybody. Okay, I am from CA Technologies, and CA is this big enterprise company, and we deliver mostly on-prem, some even mainframe solutions to our customers, and we do it through this trusted advisor relationship. That means that we sit with our customers, we understand their pain points, we work with them, and then we deliver solutions with integrations, with customizations, with education, with everything that they need to be completely successful, right? So you can imagine when last year our CEO came to us and said, all right, by 2020, we want a significant portion of your products to also be delivered in SaaS and a significant portion of your revenue to be coming from ARR, subscription-based revenue. And so this is going to be a big change for us, right? Because I just talked about the trusted advisor relationship. And my product team, the people that actually do the coding, they are never one to back down from a challenge. So they said, okay, we want to go first. And all the rest of us went, okay, I guess we're going first. So the product we chose to go first with is a great product to do this with. Continuous Delivery Director helps DevOps teams deliver quality, tested functionality to their end customers faster. It orchestrates all of your functions from planning to production. And so we've been delivering this to our enterprise customers, but you can see that this applies to SMB, SME, unicorns, wannabe unicorns. And by delivering this product in SaaS, we open up a lot of new markets, and we lower the barrier to entry. We also deliver the product in freemium, so anybody can try the product and see if it's right for them, right? But to do this, there's a lot of changes, right? So for the internal teams, and I just listed some of them here, you can see, and if you just pick out some of them, you can see that there's going to be a lot of changes beyond just making the code changes. So if you pick out one or two of them, you can think, okay, I can see how it's going to impact this team. So take, for example, finance. Finance has been used to doing perpetual licenses. They are used to recognizing revenue in a single way. And now we're going to throw something else at them. They're going to have to recognize revenue in a different way. We're going to have SaaS contracts. We have all these options. They're going to have to deal with all this complexity. So we had a lot of things to work through with other teams. Developers are coding. We're working through all this other stuff. And as a product team, product support team, that ecosystem, we had all these new things to think about too. Because the SaaS product looked like something that we knew, it looked like something that we were familiar with, but it had a lot of special capabilities, and some of them were a little bit magical, and some of them were a little bit scary because they were a little unknown to us. So for example, we had to think about e-commerce. We're opening up these new channels, And now we can do try and buy. We have to convert these guys online. We had new personas. When you have these different teams and you have these different companies, a lot of times the organizations are flatter. People wear different hats. So that's going to be different for us. We have to anticipate their care-abouts. We're trying to replicate that trusted advisor relationship, but we may not get to have those meaningful, long conversations with you before you really get in there and try the product. We're going to reach out to you, but sometimes folks don't reach back immediately. Sometimes they do a lot of the research on their own. So the product really needs to put the things that they care about in front of them based on how they got to us and based on what they're trying to achieve in the product, right? Onboarding. We're going to have to onboard you before you start using or before you buy the product. We used to onboard you after you bought the product. We do it through education. We'd come and visit you, whatever you needed. But now, in order to make a decision to buy, we're going to have to onboard you, and you're going to have to see the value first. Churn. If you buy an enterprise-level product and we come do an implementation for you on your site versus you click and sign in through Google or GitHub, you start using our product right away, you can see that the switching cost equation is very, very different. So we had to think about churn. Journey. We had a customer journey that we knew about. Most of us, I think, in the room said that we did. We understand our customer journey. But now we have a bunch of different kinds of customers. So we have different journeys. And we need to understand their success milestones, and we need to understand who they are. And health scores, that was one of those magical things that we could never see before. And once we got a load of that, we were like, this is awesome. Because we can see what customers are achieving or not achieving on an hourly, weekly, even real-time basis. So we went out to the company and we're like, look, we got to have a product, we got to be able to see all this engagement data, and we got a lot of pushback because we have a team in the company and it's their job to standardize tools across the organization. They don't want to have tool soup, they want us to not have a lot of overlapping tools, and we got a lot of pushback from them and from some other teams that wanted us to use the tools that they had bought. They centered around things like, why can't you use Google Analytics? Why can't you use marketing automation tools like Marketo? Or why can't you just use the logs? Your SaaS product or your on-prem product is successful, so why can't you just be successful with what you had? You were successful before, why do you need this now? Or my personal favorite is, can't you just do this later after you get some traction with the SaaS product? This is also known as, why don't you wait to be successful until after you're successful? That wasn't what we wanted to do. And so we persisted, and we really stood our ground on some things that we needed to be successful. And these centered around actionable analytics. We all know that the logs are far from actionable. We needed data that everyone could get to, everyone could use. It was very easy to access, and it was very easy to act on. We needed real-time behavior-based touches. This is where most marketing automation tools were not going to work for us because they're sort of a blunt tool to do a drip, 7, 14, 30 days. We wanted to reach out to our customer because, again, we're trying to replicate that trusted advisor model, and we want to be able to say, okay, we understand what you're trying to achieve based on how you got to us, based on what you've done in the product so far, and we're going to help you achieve the rest. We're going to reach out to you from a place of we understand who you are. We also wanted frictionless sign-up. We had a product in-house that is based, it supports CSMs, but it's built on Salesforce. And the way that we had it implemented in my company means that my customer would have to fill out a form that looked like this before they started using my product. And we said, no, that is too much. We don't have a form. We want the customer to get into the product and the product to stand for itself and show that value as quickly as possible. We will get your details later once you love us, but we're going to make you love us first. So we went out to all these teams, and Matt showed this in the last session, and we said, with the data that we're asking for, with the product that we're asking for, this is what you'll have. We'll have health scores. We can tell you when people are in onboarding, if they're likely to be successful, if they're likely to convert, who we need to triage. We can tell you once they've bought, if they're going to renew or if we need to reach out and do something. We can also tell you by segment. We can segment any way you want. We can segment by type of customer. We can segment by geo. We can segment by integrations they're using. So many segmentations, so much power that we'll have at our fingertips. And we can drill down to the individual customers. So if you get on the call with one, you will know what they've been doing lately. And this informs, we'll have it in our SaaS product, but also informs our on-prem product. And in the future, we'll instrument our on-prem product. So once we told all these guys about this, and they saw this screenshot, we gave them a kind of taste of what was to come, they got it. And we bought the product, and we did the implementation. So now I'll just break it down a little bit sorry, I'm just taking my time. We'll just break it down a little bit by how the different teams are using it. So, sales and marketing. Like Alec Baldwin, we are always closing, right? As soon as you come to the website, no matter who you are, we're going to reach out to you because we know where you came from, how you're using the product. We've pretty much guessed, kind of defined your persona based on the information that we have. And we're going to reach out to you with a customized contact, and we're going to show you the art of the possible. You are achieving these things now, but did you know about all of these things the product can do that will help you be more successful because our product, again, Continuous Delivery Director, helps you get more features and functionality into the hands of your customers faster, so that means success for you. And if you use all of these integrations and all these features, we can help you be more successful. We also use the product to help identify champions. We all know that champions are super awesome. They are advocates for you inside their company. They're advocates for you outside their company. And I will tell you, when I reach out to our power users, the people that are likely to be in our champions program, and I send an email that has power user in the subject line, that's how I recruit them, those emails to date have a 100% open rate. And the reason for that is customers want to be reached out from a place that you understand who they are and what they're trying to do. My regular emails have over a 30% open rate. We're doing really well with customer communications. For our CSMs, they use the data for speed dating. As soon as you start using our product, the clock starts ticking, and we want to make you love us in as short amount of time as possible, right? And over time, whether you are a freemium customer, whether you are an e-commerce customer, no matter what type of customer you are, full enterprise, we are going to deepen and strengthen that relationship and make you get so much value out of CDD that you wouldn't even imagine not renewing the product. It is going to be part of your life, and we are going to celebrate anniversaries, but it will never be a question. Here's one you might not have thought of, UX. So the UX team, we do what UX does. We reach out, we talk to customers, we ask them, how are you using the product? How's it going? Where do you get stuck? All of that. Well, now we can see a lot of usage patterns just by looking. We designed it this way, but this is how people are actually using it. We made a change or an enhancement, and this is how it affected the usage patterns. We launched something new, and this is what happened. So this has been a real boon for usability. Of course, we still do UX testing, but now we can just see a lot by looking at the usage patterns. And there's the big picture. And on the big picture, we have support, documentation, product management, POs, SEs. All of these teams are using the data that we report to get closer to their customers, to prepare for calls, to prioritize their work, and to do their jobs better. And again, to replicate that trusted advisor relationship at scale, with speed, with data. So because this data is actionable and it's so easy for us to get to, we're reporting our stats, our core KPIs, around all of our teams and then up to the highest levels of the organization. And we show a report like this. And in a company with over 100 of products, I think we have about 200, we're all vying for attention, right? We're all wanting attention for our product. And because we're able to report this information attractively, easily, regularly, we are getting picked up in some really awesome places. We got featured at CA World. We got featured in the third quarter earnings report as a product and a team that is adding significant value to CA technologies. That is big for us, yeah? And because we've gotten featured in these places, we got picked up in the press too. We love it, yay! And what we're doing with this data, again, is we're reporting those key stats around the organization. We're fast-tracking our success. Right now, we have success in the first 30 days. That's what we're really doing. We want to compress that time so we can get down to 14 days or 7 days that we have customers fully onboarded, because the sooner you can get them onboarded, the faster you can get them to value, the more likely that they're going to make CDD or your product part of their everyday life, right? What we see this morning, 80% of customers want to be communicated with in real time. That really points to compressing that time frame. And again, data drives our decisions. It drives where we invest. It drives how we prioritize our work. It drives everything we do. And none of this would be possible without customer data. All of our teams are using the data because data drives what we do, and data is not an option. So because we've been really successful so far, we've been asked to go on sort of an internal roadshow and talk about our success with delivering customer data and how all of our teams are using it. And that whole conversation about, well, you never had any of this before, and the on-prem product was successful, and blah, 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 blah. That's all changed to, oh my gosh, we all need this right now. Can you show us how to get it? And one of the big winning things has been that it was easy to implement, and it was easy to get people to start using it. And that almost anybody who wants to use it can start using it right away, because resources are tight, and especially technology resources are tight. We are able to implement Tatango in almost no time at all, and that has been a giant win in the organization. So again, the three things that we talked about: product changes, not just product changes. They're going to impact your whole organization, and you need to prepare for that because everything is always changing. I talked about a SaaS transformation. You probably have other changes going on in your organization, and even if it's not a giant transformation, everything is always changing anyway. Number two, data is not a luxury. Don't wait until you're successful to be successful. That doesn't make any sense at all. And number three, everyone in your organization can and should be using the data that you collect. It's not just for sales. It's not just for CSMs. Everybody can be more successful with customer engagement data. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, Christine. We've got about 5 minutes for questions from the audience. Anybody?
Ready?
I'm going to run the microphone down so you can hear.
I know I'm in between you guys and lunch, so if you want to talk to me at lunch, that's great too.
You had on one of the slides about the renewing of the contract is a non-event. What did you mean by that?
So what I mean is when it comes up to renew their SaaS contract on a yearly basis, like we don't even want to have a discussion about whether or not they would do that, right? We might have a discussion that they might expand it, but we want to make sure that this is so much part of their DevOps process and it's adding so much value to them, because we've always been adding that value, that it doesn't even come up that they would say, well, I'm going to look at something else. And we do compete with a lot of open source, so we want to make sure.
Sorry.
What's that?
Oh, there's one here.
Yeah, we're live.
Carson, there's one here.
Okay.
Okay.
So you had some interesting things that you saw in Tango, like an aha moment or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance bringing stuff into the integrations versus manually having to put it in there?
Through the what do you mean by
To
integration?
get the data into the Tango, how many integrations versus manually adding it? Kind of what's your balance?
Yeah, so right now we don't have Tatango integrated with anything else except our product. So we're just bringing all of the aha moments. The question is about our integrations with Tatango. Right now we just have Tatango integrated with our product, and we will in the future add other integrations. Yeah, so that is something that we want to do. We've only been live since September of last year. Yeah.
Good question. Anyone else?
Yep.
So then you must have a lot of users on Django, right? Like, you have sales, you have marketing on Django?
Yeah, well, he's asking how many users we have. We don't have a lot of users. We report those KPIs to everybody. And so we have a handful of users, but we report all of those KPIs to people, and then we'll do reviews if they're getting ready to do a phone call or something. Yeah. 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 Because we are a new product, we didn't get a giant budget, but we've been super successful, so I expect that to change. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me run it over.
So because it's in just this product, were all of the things that you integrated in new data and information that you brought in, or did you bring in existing stuff?
No, because we're just implemented in the SaaS product now. But like I said, we're using it to inform the on-prem product. And soon we're going to instrument the on-prem product too. So yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So great job, by the way, but
Thank you.
As I'm sure you're aware, based on the nature of your product, you're adding new features, I would assume, to your CDD product all the time.
That's right, yeah.
What's the relationship like between you and your product team, or the people actually tasked with continuing to ensure that you're tracking data about new features that you guys are deploying, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so he asked about how we track data on new products, so our new features. When we add a new feature in, we immediately start tracking adoption. I'm actually on the product team, so I'm a product manager. And we'll start tracking adoption, and we'll do the release and notification and everything. And if we're not getting the traction that we want, we'll do additional outreach and make sure that customers are adopting, because a lot of times they're not adopting just because of awareness. Yeah.
Product manager actually owns the thing.
I am the product manager and I own it. Yeah, yeah. There are two. It's a big product, so we have two product managers. But yes, it sits in the product team. Yeah, yeah. So again, that points to everyone can and should be using the data. I pushed for it, and I'm on the product team. Yeah.
Good question. Anyone else?
So how do you envision, later down the road to distribute that data? 'Cause right now, you're just emailing those reports. So how do you envision it?
So right now, that's been fine to report KPIs. And if somebody is prepping for a call, we will sit down and go through what their customer has been doing lately, and that seems to be working great for us. We are going to upgrade and combine our licenses with other SaaS products in the organization, so that's coming soon too. So, yeah, because like I said, we have that mandate to expand, so that's in the works as well. Yeah.
Anyone else?
You mentioned release notifications. How often do you send those, and do you send those to all of your customers?
Yes, yes, even the freemium customers, and we have a lot of freemium customers.
And how often do you do that?
We do a release every quarter. Yep. Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, a nice round of applause for Christine.